Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Waller's Wallet, and thanks for tuning into this month's live stream where we're going to be talking about dynamic award pricing. And as always, I'll be answering your questions, so be sure to ask your questions, and I'll get to them toward the end of this stream. But first, if you're new to this channel is all about credit cards, credit card rewards, and showing you how you can use your points and miles to travel for less. So if something interests you, consider subscribing, hit that bell notification, and don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. It really does help the channel out. Now, if you don't already know what it is, dynamic pricing is expanding. United starts in November. American Airlines is slowly rolling this out. Other programs like JetBlue, Southwest, and Delta are already there. We see Aeroplan starting this at some time in 2020. And as it expands, it's important to know, I think, number one, what it is and how you can still get good value from your points. Because if you don't know what it is and how to, get good value from your points, you're just going to think the Deltas of the world are going to rule it. And that's not necessarily true. So let's first start off with what a definition is of pretty much what dynamic pricing is. So dynamic pricing is a factor of, has a lot of different factors. It could be one, the time of year you're going, inventory they have, a number of people coming in, but a big one of it is the price of the ticket. The higher the cost of the ticket, the more points you need. The lower the cost of the ticket, the fewer points you're going to need. It pretty much boils down to that. And really with dynamic awards, it really is like a double-edged sword because it comes with pros and cons. And even with all those pluses and minuses, you still have some opportunity to get some good value. And we've seen some examples of that recently. So let's first start off with the pros of dynamic pricing. If there's a super cheap fare, it's going to cost you fewer miles. Think of Southwest. When Southwest has those super cheap fare deals going on, $49 one way, it's super cheap on your point to do it. Price point to do it. Which could actually be better for you than a standard award chart. It's easier to redeem your rewards. This could be a pro or con depending on how you look at it, because really award travel is difficult for people, and it's a lot harder than just earning your credit card points because I feel like a lot of people are good at earning points, but not necessarily the best at redeeming them. And I can tell from the emails I get from people for award booking demonstrations or looking for guidance on how award travel stumps them. So by airlines tying the point values to ticket cost, it's going to be easier for people to redeem their points for the rewards. And you might not like the point values for it because essentially they're making it a fixed value. But on the flip side, if you're someone who will put in the sweat, put in the work to learn the award charts, learn how to find award space, call airlines, this does hurt you because what happens now is it's open to everyone. And, there's going to be fewer seats for you. Pretty much like an example that would be, and this isn't for dynamic, but when American Airlines put like Cathay Pacific and Japan Airlines on the website for using your AA miles, it was easier now for people to use those as opposed to searching, let's say, British Airways, finding the availability, then calling American Airlines, because most people aren't going to do that. So with people now making it easier, there's going to be less space for the people who are willing to put in the work. Now, one thing is also as a big pro is that airlines can offer specials. And we can get some good value from these, even on unexpected super low fares. For example, like these are like Delta flash sales or even American Airlines web specials. And I took advantage of this for my most recent trip earlier this month when I went over to Brussels and Amsterdam. It was 43,000 miles for the entire trip, taking advantage of one of these like flash sales from Delta, as opposed to 50 to 60,000 points for a typical award chart. And the other night in my Facebook group, I was told by one of the members that American Airlines was having you're going to hear this, 6,000 point route from LAX to New Zealand. So I posted it in there, and this is like the pros and the cons of this, right? Because American Airlines is slowly rolling out these dynamic award pricing. I think I saw some comments. People were saying, could this be a mistake? Could this be like a mistake fare? But when they first rolled this out, there was a fare from, I think it was Los Angeles to Barcelona, which was 5,000 miles one way. So I do think this is what they're kind of rolling out. So you can get these super awesome fare deals, but at the same time, really screwing you over on a lot of other things too, which is what we see with Delta. And really, that might be all the pros I can really think of when it comes to dynamic pricing. But there are a lot of cons as well to dynamic pricing. First, for me, the big one is the lack of transparency. And like I said, this is a big one because an award chart holds airlines accountable. They really can't deviate from that price. If the award chart says 25,000 points, it's 25,000 points. They just can't make something up. But dynamic pricing means they can change it to whatever they want for pricing. So today, if an airline feels, or even a hotel feels, that it's $200 for the room or for an airline ticket, and let's say it's going to cost you 10,000 points, in a week they decide to make it 20,000 points, you don't know. There's that no transparency, no accountability for these places. We see this typically, I think, with Delta right now, and the fact that partner airlines will go up, or we see space go up for their flights because we just don't know it until we pretty much search it. And we're seeing that now too as we start getting closer to United rolling out. Their prices are just all over the place. And they can do it without warning because no award chart, no need to follow it, no need to hold them accountable. And like I said, it just makes it easier for them, and you don't really notice it till you start searching. So it's really a big negative. Less value for your miles, right? So one thing that's great about programs with an award chart, you can get oversized value for these. So you see people posting on this all the time. I got 8 cents per point, 10 cents per point, 4 cents per point, because they found a ticket that may have been, we'll say $3,000, and then they redeemed it. They redeemed, we'll say 30,000 points. So you got a really good value with that. But by programs essentially making this a fixed value currency, you're going to get a lot lower on that cent per point value because they're basically making it like a fixed value program. So this just makes it harder for people, especially people who are getting oversized value, to do that. And I think a big one for families is not being able to plan. Now, one big thing I think people do, and this is one reason why I think, when I started the channel, it was more so for families and people who are just looking to get away for the 1 to 2 weeks a year, plan it out and use their points and miles. And that's really what I think what I strive to do. But with being dynamic, it's harder for these people to plan this out. Because if you ever go to Delta, for example, you're going to price out an award. It's going to say, we'll say 25,000 points today. You say, okay, awesome, I'll book it tomorrow. You come back, it's now 37,000 points per person. You can't plan that. And that makes it frustrating for families. It makes it frustrating for me for when people have to look for this. And it just makes it harder. One tip too, if you're ever searching these airlines, let's say like a Delta, and you're constantly searching certain routes, clear your cookies or go through a private browser, because they do track that. And what will actually happen is that you'll see the price increase by routes that you're searching. So it's kind of a dirty game they play, but be sure to clear your cookies. And that's a dirty game, but that's one way you can get ahead on this. Now, if you are someone who prefers to turn left when you get on the plane, fly those premium cabins, this hurts you worse than I think it hurts economy flyers. Because when it's tied to the price of the ticket, premium cabins, business first class, cost more cash, which means it's going to cost more points. And so, sorry. So, and this is just going to be reducing the value, because if you're only going to be getting, let's say 1.8 cents per point when you redeem through a certain program, it's going to take you a lot more points. Like I said, go look at Delta right now. Even go look at United after November 15th. It's a lot more points for certain routes in certain times of year. So it's going to make it harder for people who like to fly those premium cabins. One good example of this would be in some programs like JetBlue even give you reduced value when you book premium cabins. So if you ever go to JetBlue and you start looking up JetBlue flights, you're going to notice that Mint, when you fly JetBlue Mint, which is possibly one of the better domestic first class or the best domestic first class product out on the market, you get about 1 cent per point value, which is pretty crappy. I mean, it's pretty terrible. But when you look for economy flights, it's about 1.4 cents per point, which isn't necessarily great, but it's better than using them on Mint. So that's kind of something we could see too. We could see a hybrid of this. We do see Aeroplan is coming out with like a hybrid of this for domestic tickets here in the US in 2020. It's going to be based on the cash fare here in the US, but outside of other spots, it'll be based on an award chart. So you're going to have hit or miss with this here. Currently, Aeroplan is still a really good program, but that could change in 2020. So then it comes to, how do you beat dynamic award pricing? I guess first I should say this. If you're watching the World Series, let me know in the comments. Are you going for the Nats or are you going for the Astros? I know some people have said it's the World Series time, so let me know what you're doing there. So how do we beat dynamic award pricing? If you've watched any of the award booking demonstrations, or if you've watched the channel at all, you know I am really big on alliance partners, because using alliance partners is one of the best ways to beat dynamic pricing, and as well as to get just great value for your points in general. Because while some airlines like a Delta or maybe even United coming up have dynamic pricing, Other programs that are in their alliance partners do not. So we'll take United, for example. United after November 15th, they're going dynamic. It's going to be probably really awful at first. It's going to, hopefully level out. But if you're unsure about it, you can go use a program like Aeroplan or Avianca, and you're going to have a standard award chart, making it easier for you, possibly a better value. So it's just going to be easier for you there. But by learning these alliance partners, you're going to be able to save yourself not only some big points, but you can also take advantage of opportunities like stopovers, because Aeroplan, if you've seen me talk about them before, I am high on this program. They have a stopover program. You can get stopovers when you fly when you fly them. And United does have the excursionist perk. But one thing I've been noticing as you start looking is that I feel like they're playing around with the availability when you go from a one-way to start searching round trip for the excursionist perk. Now, you can write down the numbers and you can call them and try to have them piece it together, but not everyone does that. And with United doing that, I feel like it really screws with the value of the excursionist perk, because I should be able to do it all online, but now I got to write it down. I got to call them, feed it to them, to maybe to an agent who doesn't know what the hell they're doing, and hope that, I can get it all booked out correctly. So, there's benefits in these partners here. And then also earning flexible currency. You'll hear me preach that on the channel all the time. Flexible currency and diversifying your points is very, very important as you get deeper into this game. I've noticed when I get the award booking demonstrations from a lot of people, I know we say to start off with Chase Ultimate Rewards, and a lot of people are just stuck in that ecosystem. You really got to branch out, because there are opportunities where people in these booking demonstrations, when I go through them, will say, hey, I really want to book a business or first class ticket here. And I'm like, that's doable. We can make that happen. But then I go down and look, and they have Chase points. And Chase points are great for certain things, but they're not the best for airline partners. Really take a step back and look at their airline partners. You have United. You have British Airways for short hauls. They're not really the best. They're decent for certain long hauls, but not super awesome. You have Virgin Atlantic. Okay, they're pretty good. But outside of that, you have a lack of real good opportunities for those. So don't be afraid to diversify your points. It's very important, because I've gone through a couple of these award booking demonstrations for people, and I've been like, oh, if they only had, membership rewards or city points, we could make this business class happen for a fraction of the cost. So I think it's really important for that. Because if we go back to, let's say, that JetBlue example I was talking about earlier, you can redeem for 1.4 cents per point for an economy flight. But if you had the Chase Sapphire Reserve, or maybe maybe everyone's fan favorite, the Altitude Reserve, definitely mine, you can redeem at 1.5 cents per point, and you can earn miles for that as well. So by diversifying, you can get better value than utilizing some of these transfer partners. And the other thing to consider are cashback cards. Now, I know, not everyone is big on cashback cards, and definitely not a popular choice for some people. But depending on your travel habits and your goals, this actually might not be a bad idea, because as more programs move to be dynamic, they're essentially making their miles a fixed value currency, such as cash back, just for that specific program. United miles are going to be United cash back, if you will, for domestic flights or on their metal, and potentially even their partners. So, programs that are more fixed points, you just might do better with cash back. Gives you more flexibility. It's going to be able to let you do whatever you want with that cash back. If you see a super cheap fare on TAP and you want to take advantage of their stopover program, you can do that. So there's a lot of opportunities, or you can even purchase miles, which it's very limited in doing that. But if sometimes these deals for purchasing miles, you can get some good value in those if you just stay up on the opportunities to do that. So, the takeaway from here is that before I get to questions, is that dynamic pricing is expanding, regardless if we like it or not. Lufthansa is starting as well. So you just want to make sure you know how to get the most value from your points, because that is super, super important. But let me get to some of these questions. Be sure to put your questions in here. I want to make sure I'm answering your questions, whatever they are, just because I'm here to help people. So let's see. What's going on? Eachin, Casey, how you guys doing? Solid Liquid, how you doing? What's up, Scott? How you doing? Hopefully you had a good trip back. It was great doing lunch with you when you came up. Nice meeting you as well, and your wife. Let's see. What's up, Tyree? How's it going? Habib, what's going on? Fernando, what's up? Astros starting 2 minutes. Texas Al, thank you very much for giving that in there. Astros DC. Okay, what's going up, Dolly? How you doing? Yep. Hey, if you don't mind hitting that thumbs up button, that does bring more people in. I appreciate it. Let's see. In Texas, Al says Astros tonight. Had it been the Yankees and Nats, I thought it would have been the Nats. That I think I'm interested in it because I know a lot of people were talking about like Bryce Harper leaving the Nats, and now look at the Nats and one game away from the World Series. It's like every kid's dream to play Game 7 of the World Series. So I think that would be pretty. Like it would almost be like what it's all Liquid said about City. It'd be poetic justice for him to think he can get a better deal over in Philly, and he got paid a lot of money for it, but to leave and the Nats win a World Series, like that would just be like a real like in the side stabbing him there. So let's see, what's going on, Torpedo? Let's see. Sebi's survey showed 91%, 10 out of 11 people are not going to use the Uber card when it changes. Yeah, I mean, I've already thrown mine. I've cashed out my rewards. I've already thrown it into the drawer here. I know the changes start in February, but I'm going to speak with my wallet on this one. I'm not happy about the changes for Uber. I get why they did it. I understand it's an Uber card, so I do think Uber should have been a better multiplier when it came out. It just was kind of silly to see it at 2% when like it doesn't even keep pace with other travel cards, not even close. But to like gut it like that and pretty much take the other options away, I think really, really hurt it. I've seen a few people talking about it. I do think the loss of the subscription service does hurt it as well as the reduction in cell phone protection, which most people might not know about anyways or care about. I use it. I've already broken, a couple phones from dropping them, but it is what it is. All right. Altitude Reserve, the GOAT. You know what? I love my Altitude Reserve. If they do anything to that card, I'll be very, very upset. But I'm going to have to reevaluate the card because I did get the iPhone 11 Pro. So the mobile wallet payment is not going to be as plentiful like Samsung Pay, but a lot of places in my area do accept Apple Pay. So I should still be getting a really, really good value from it. And I'll do a review at the 1 year mark about what I've earned on it. But I'm already back up to like 40,000 points from using it everywhere. I've had a lot of travel expenses and whatnot the last couple months. Let's see. Hello from Miami. How you doing, Edgar? What's going on, Lionel? Let's see. In my situation, I really don't have a lot of time to do a bunch of international travel. Casey, I did a question on that a while back, and it seems a lot of people, at least people who answered it, do more domestic travel. So I am finishing up some edits on a video about good programs for domestic travel. Because if a lot of people are flying domestically, I want to help people fly to help them and travel. So I'll be spending more time trying to put more effort into domestic options as well as international. Like I know I fly internationally probably more than domestically, but that just because I do that doesn't mean I shouldn't talk more about domestic travel options. If there are domestic travel things you want to know about, leave comments so I can write them down and try to do more videos on that for you because I want to make sure you guys are getting the most value out of the channel. Let's see. He says, I fly out of Boston. JetBlue, Delta are great redemptions for me. Yeah, JetBlue's been great. Did you see the monster flights on Halloween? $31 to like a bunch of places out of Boston. And I actually flew out of Boston to go a couple of trips internationally over the last couple months. Solid value from it. I mean, like I said, 43,000 Sky Miles for a trip to Brussels and Amsterdam, and I think it was like $50 in taxes. That's a really good value for my miles. Really good option for Delta. And they don't expire, so I just kind of let them sit there in the account while I wait for a good redemption. Let's see, Alberto. Hey there. When teaching about travel and signing up for bonuses, how often are you traveling the way people envision you, or or others promote travel? Does that make sense? Alberto, if I'm reading your question correctly, how often how often are you traveling the way people envision? I mean, I don't know what people envision. Let me know how you guys think I travel. Because I sit in the back of the plane, like 98% of the time. We've only flown business class a couple times. I share a lot of stuff on Instagram. I'm a pretty like budget traveler because I want to extend my cash and points. I think a lot of people, when you look at their Instagram feeds and like what they're doing, they want to make it look really good. And like, don't get me wrong, like I'll try to take good pictures of like oceans or buildings or architecture, but like I'm not staying in 5-star resorts. I don't value that as highly as other people. I really want to make sure I'm getting the most. I consider value getting more travel out of them, as opposed to getting fewer travel but more luxurious, I guess, if that makes sense. And others promote travel. Like a lot of people promote travel in the sense of, the super awesome business class seats. And like, I'm planning to go to Asia in 2020, and yeah, I'll be flying business class because that's a really long flight, especially it'll be a 1-year old. So we'll fly business class. But outside of that, man, these trips all over. Like I was flying coach. I had a really good, awesome experience on Delta coach. Like I would totally do it again. So yeah, I don't. I'm letting you know. I'm curious. How do you guys think I travel whenever I travel? I'm just curious. Let's see. Last day to get American Express cards. Should I get the platinum? Fernando, you're talking about the Delta cards. That is one misconception I think people with affiliate links want to post, is that it's not really the last day. It's the last day for the public offer and for affiliate marketing. Personal referral links actually still go through until this, I think it was like the end of January. I think mine showed January 29th. So I wouldn't worry about it. If you're on the fence about it and you don't want to make a split second decision, you still can get the cards before the end of January with those increased bonus offers. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. With dynamic pricing, like Fernando, with Delta, it's good. It's good in the sense, if I wouldn't get them early game, definitely mid to late game, but they don't expire if you wait for a good flash sale. And that's kind of where I think US based award travel is going. If you look at the sale, like the web specials from American Airlines for their flights, I don't really like flying American. I think I've had really bad experiences with them. But 6,000 points from Los Angeles to New Zealand, yeah, I'd suck it up. I think we're going to start seeing, as these programs go dynamic for the US base, they're going to have these more special offers. And as the points don't expire, you just kind of let them sit there and you just wait for a good opportunity. I mean, it would have been silly for me not to use Delta miles, and it'd be silly for someone not to cash in 6,000 American Airline miles to go to New Zealand. So I think that's where we're going with those. But I think it makes sense for people. Like I mean, if you view it as a 1 cent per point value, that's, $600 to $750. Like I don't think that's a bad value. They're not the most valuable points, but they're decent. Let's see. I'm curious, what's the best way to get to Dubai from Denver sometime after June of 2019? William, what I would do, I don't know off the top of my head. I know American flies out of there. And I'm sure you can reposition as well with, like, let's say Southwest somewhere. I would look quickly at Award Hacker. Kind of gives you, it's not 100% accurate, but it does, give you some roundabout idea. I typically tell people to look at Google Flights so you can see more options and go from there. Definitely to fill up my award booking. I'm assuming you meant June of 2020 though. My award booking demonstration stuff, because I'm getting back on the bandwagon that twice a week or twice a month of those. So if you're having trouble there, but Dubai, definitely American Airline miles might be beneficial for you there, as a whole. If you have questions, put them in there. There's 42, 43 we got people in here, so ask your questions while I get through some of the lessons here. Let's see. Anyone know if the current Uber gives you 2% on 2x on plastic? Even if it does give you 2x for 2% back at Uber Cash, I don't think it would be worth it at 2.5% fee to do that. And even if you got the 1.5% promotion that they sent out a little bit ago, a 2% cashback card would probably be better. Let me know. I think the Chase Ink Preferred was coding as 3x at some point in time. I don't know if that's still going on though. But I don't know if the Uber card would be a good option for you for that. Let's see, Icarus. When it comes to 4% cashback on restaurants with no annual fee, the words of Yoda, there is another, but it's regional, hard to get down for. Of course, EIN and business checking. There's actually a 5% restaurant card. It is very limited to get into. I think it used to be easier, but they pulled it. I don't know all the ways to access the bank, but the Vantage West credit card, it's 5% on restaurants that you can pick. So if you're curious about that card, look it up. I'm not sure if anybody has mentioned it in their videos, but the Vantage West, it is regional, or it's a very small. There's only full ways to join them. But if you can, 5%, no annual fee. It does have foreign transaction fees, but if some of you are domestically, that's a hell of an option. Let's see. I'm based overseas, travel 100% internationally, best travel cards. Torpedo, if you're traveling internationally and you're looking for travel protections and spend a lot on travel, For me, I would probably either say, depending on what you're looking for benefits, and are you a coach traveler or are you a premium class traveler? The Chase Sapphire Reserve, while I think it needs an update, um, I think the Chase Sapphire Reserve has solid travel protections. It's 3x on travel. You get the transferred partners 1.5 cents per point through the Ultimate Reward portal. If you're someone who likes to book things a little bit differently, or the Altitude Reserve, I'm a big fan of as well. Those are some of the better ones for international travel, especially for protections, I think, as well as earning rates there. I'm not a big fan on the American Express cards, even with the increased opportunity for travel protections in 2020. Because it has to be on round trip tickets. American Express is not as widely accepted internationally. I consider American Express like Hyatt. They've got really good products, but the footprint is so much smaller than a Hilton or Marriott. So it's just not a good, they're good cards, but they're just not accepted as much. And it's just, I would look at one of those cards. Also depends if you're looking for an annual fee card or not. Let's see. What's going on, Everett? How you doing? Tyree, I fly out of Philly and I'd like to take spontaneous trips, but plan at least 3 to 4 months in advance. As an AA hub here, I don't know if I should apply for the city card, then downgrade if I don't find value. Tyree, if you are past, getting, your Chase cards, you're past like the 524 and you've kind of gotten in that mid game, the city AA cards do offer a lot of value, especially getting if the Barclay card, if you don't have that one is already for the personal card, that's a great way to stack and just get a ton of American airline miles. You can downgrade to the City Double Cash, which is 2x thank you points now. Especially if you have a Premier or Prestige, you can transfer that to better airline partners. So I definitely think it's worth getting for the first year, especially if you can get the big bonuses on it. You'd have to run the numbers up for yourself to see if it's worth keeping after year one. Does anyone even talk about the green card? I'm not big on the green card. I've gotten a few comments from people saying that the green card's a good starter card for people. I'm still not 100% convinced on it. I think the 3x earning rate is decent. The earning rates that match the reserve, but not accepted. If you're traveling outside the US, it's just not as widely accepted. There are just so many places. And I know some people well, I went to London. It was accepted all over London. Yeah, you're in a large freaking city. Why don't you wait till you get to some sort of small town or some mid-level size city? You're going to realize it's not as widely accepted. So it's just this very small footprint. 3x is great for dining and travel for that low of a fee, but the benefits don't the away luggage credit. If you're not going to spend money on away luggage anyways, it's useless because the cheapest thing is $124. And for those of you who leave comments saying it's an effective annual fee of $50, if you're going to spend $100 and spend $125 at away and use your $100 credit, add the $25 you're actually spending if you weren't going to spend the money anyways, so you can justify it. I think people look at it, effective annual fees as only the credit, not the extra money they're needing to spend. Maybe you don't like to hear that, but it's there's effective annual fees are very funny to hear from people. And the lounge access for it, $100 lounge buddy, cool, but 1 to a couple passes a year isn't going to cut it for someone who travels more than once or twice a year. Let's see. Williams going for the Nationals. All right. I think we got 1 Astros and 1 Nationals in here. So who are you guys going for here? All right, let's see. I found a local restaurant who codes as convenience store, so only got 1%. Have you or know anyone who's had success in having the merchant reevaluate? I've never heard of someone being able to get that to change, Alberto. I have an issue actually here. So I have, first of all, I got a new wallet. I have a USAA credit card that gives me 5% back on gas. And the gas station locally to me codes as a grocery store. So I've reached out to USAA before and there's nothing they can do about it unless the merchant does it. And the gas station here is not going to do anything about it. So I have a 5% gas card that's not even coding as 5%. Sometimes banks or sometimes some programs will give you courtesy points to be okay, I can see that's a restaurant, so they'll do that for you. Um, but you need to reach out. It's bank specific. Some will give you courtesy points, some won't. All right, Icarus. Know what else is great about Vantage West? Opening a free check in there, fund up to $2,000 with a credit card that codes with other business services, not a cash advance. Yeah, I think so. There's some really good opportunity out there to fund bank accounts with credit cards. If you're into chasing checking account bonuses, if you are, I definitely recommend Doctor of Credit for people. They have a great setup on their website to show you what banks are doing with bonuses, regionalize. Can you fund it with the credit cards? Hard pull, soft pull. They do some great work there. So if you are someone looking into that, by all means, check out Doctor of Credit. You won't be disappointed as well. Let's see. I tried to use my American Express in London and Paris. It was hit or miss on a lot of restaurants. Yeah, they're just it is. I mean, until they get that thing figured out, I know people will be like, I can earn I can earn 3x with that card or 4x worldwide with my gold card. 4x means nothing if you can't use it. Let's call it as it is. You can't use it. It's no benefit to you. I mean, that's what made the Uber card so great. It made it so great. I could earn 4% worldwide. Let's see. I think people are overrating the green card a bit. A lot of credits sound like they're forcing you to spend. Casey, I think that's what American Express is really, really good at. I think if people reward it, if you said Lounge Buddy credit, people are like Lounge Buddy credit. Yeah, that's actually really good. But let's rephrase it as a travel credit for a specific lounge, like for a lounge. Like it doesn't sound as good. But they're really good at that. Away, if you're looking for that, it's not. It's good stuff. I actually have my Nomadic bag review going to post, I think, next week. Finishing that up next week. So like for me, like I don't even want Away. Nomadic is like the bag I want to use. Like it's really good. So for me, that's really fantastic. And then as far as the credits, yeah, you're going to end up spending, $50-$40 on a lounge, have to end up spending, $20 extra at some point, possibly. And the clear is great in the sense that you get a credit, but even if you're a member for a program and you get it for $9, if you weren't planning to purchase it anyways, then you're spending $9 extra. Like I get it, it's a fee, like you get to save some money, but if you weren't gonna do it anyways, you're just spending more money to save money, and that's not really how I play the game. So to me, people overvalue some of those credits. Let's see. Have I ever tried using a VPN to book using a different country to book travel? I've done it. I've tried. Oh, let's see. I think I'm a sicker. Is funding bank accounts by credit cards hook minimum spends? That's absolutely true. You can use credit cards to meet minimum spend requirements for opening bank accounts. Like I said, Doctor of Credit. You'll be very happy you went there. As far as Kelly, have I used a VPN to book travel outside using a different country to book travel? I've done it once or twice to look. I didn't find anything, but I know that it's lucrative if you can search it. I do change the currency from time to time, and have found decent deals just when I'm searching. I can't necessarily take advantage of them, but I've done that before as a whole. So let's see. Let's see. Away credit has overpriced luggage. Clear credit isn't helpful for non-business travelers. Lounge Buddy somehow has worse Lounge X than Priority Pass. Yeah, Lounge Buddy, Casey, it actually there's some overlap with Priority Pass. So like, if you're going to be traveling at all, like even just a handful of times a year, get yourself a card like the Hilton Surpass. You get 10 passes, the Priority Pass for $95. That's not terrible. And you get gold status, so you get actually like a tangible benefit from that. Let's see. What's going on, Al? How you doing? Drive safe, Alan. If you're going to watch this, I appreciate you watching, man, but drive safe. Nats. Yep. Okay. Fernando's going for the Nats. How asked, is YouTube now main thing after leaving pharmacy? Yeah. So I left pharmacy back in January. Much happier, by the way, from doing that. But I stay home with my son, who's currently sleeping. I'm watching him on the monitor over here. He's currently sleeping, and I do the YouTube stuff. I've been, it's absolutely, and it's been great, but this is really what I do. I make content. I review one-on-one consultations with people, credit card recommendations. I've been doing more credit card recommendations via video response, and people have really liked that. And I keep doing it. I feel like it's a really good opportunity. Like it's a really good thing, and I like connecting with all of you. So let's see. Did I miss? I don't think I missed anything. No. Okay. Let's see. Yes, I've used a VPN in Barcelona and got it to work to watch Game of Thrones overseas. William, we've done that plenty of times. My wife really likes when we go to Europe to watch Big Bang Theory on Netflix, because you can't get that here in the States. I mean, we've watched Big Bang Theory before. So she'll leave her phone on airplane mode when she gets back home so she can finish watching what she has. But yeah, using the VPN and traveling and stuff like that, like there's some good opportunities for you to do that and save some money if you know what you're doing and have time to look. What's up, Reckless? How you doing, man? Thanks for chopping in. I appreciate it. Alan asks, is United still a good choice for UR points? Alan, I do think there's still they're a good opportunity. I think it could become less valuable depending on how erratic their pricing is for their metal on dynamic awards. I think it's going to be more important to utilize their alliance partners, Aeroplan, Avianca, potentially Singapore, depending on where you're going, ANA. There's some good options out there for you. But it's going to be all about the pricing for those routes. They could be options, but man, Ultimate Rewards is having a really tough time with airline partners, I think. Just when you look at them, they have 10 partners, but Southwest, dynamic. JetBlue, dynamic. British Airways, really only good for like short hauls. Virgin Atlantic, better for non-stops, but you can get that other places. United, going dynamic. Like Emirates, not really good. Aer Lingus and Iberia, they kind of mix in with British Airways. So like they're not impressive to me via airline transfer partners. If, like I've said before, if you've watched it before, if Hyatt does anything to that program, UR is in a lot of trouble. So I'm hoping they do something. Someone posted in my Facebook group about, I think it was Alan. Alan, was it you that posted in the Facebook group about the refresh? A blogger posted about the design for the Chase Sapphire Reserve is being refreshed. I think we're foolish to think if maybe some refreshes to the card aren't coming as well. So yeah, that'll be really interesting to see. All right, let's see. Let's see. Champ asked, just wondering how you approach American Express applications these days. I want to apply for the Delta Biz, but nervous about the dreaded pop-up. I honestly wouldn't even be worried about that, Champ. If you apply and it pops up, back out. Like it's not going to be a hard pull to you. There's not going to be anything there that hurts you there. If it does, typically what I've noticed in things from people is if you are getting that pop-up and you have American Express cards, put some spending on their cards as well. If you're not putting spending on the card, that could be a problem for you. Or if you've opened a lot of cards in a short period of time, that could be a reason why maybe you got that pop-up window. Let's see. All right. Just as a heads up, my little guy is awake. He should be asleep. So if he starts crying, I will have to end the live stream. But I'll catch back up with people later. But he's content right now. All right. Kate says, I enjoy watching your content the most. You're really honest about your opinions and overhyping travel cards. Yeah, Casey, that's always my goal. I try to be as objective as possible, give some opinions on things. But as a whole, like I just try to be level-headed about it. Good cards are good. I think I give each bank crap whenever there's something is good or bad. And give them credit when it's due. But no bank is safe if they're doing something bad. I don't care how good I think a card is. If they devalue it, I'm honest about it. That's probably why, I don't, some banks may not want to work with me, but that's okay. I'm here for you, not for them. Let's see. Reckless got his ink. He's working on a bonus. That's awesome. What do you plan to do with those points? Quentin says, hey, Waller, I completely have no problem booking award tickets by Air France, Aeroplan, etc. When it comes to searching an award availability and calling it as a challenge to me, yeah, it's important that if you're going to do that with some of these programs, you write down everything. Some of these agents are not the most knowledgeable. It's very difficult with wait times and who you speak to. You have to sometimes call multiple times to do this. So I think it's just challenging for a lot of people. It's just got to be patient, though. Let's see. Vic says he's got temporary passes with Hilton Business Card, not to mention gold status. That's a fantastic benefit of that card as a whole. Like the Hilton Surpass cards and the business card, I think are maybe a little bit undervalued by people if they look to the Aspire, which is great. But if someone doesn't want to fork over $450, that's a good option for you. Let's see. What's going on, Sean? How's the iPhone going? I really like it. The camera is fantastic on it. The battery life is absolutely fantastic on this phone. I'm a very heavy cell phone user, and the thing does fantastic. I think right now, earlier today, before, because I was doing a lot of work on it too. I was still like 50%. And I was on it quite a bit. Answering comments and stuff here and there. So and stuff like that is really good. It's really good for me. I like it a lot. I do like it better than the Samsung SE. The photo quality is far better. Only thing I miss about the Samsung now is not having Samsung Pay. Let's see. Got to root for Houston. Okay. Thank you, Alan, for posting it in the group. Hey, if you guys haven't joined the Facebook group, there's a lot of, there's a lot of good stuff coming into the group as well. A lot of good deals I try to post as well. So if you're not part of the Facebook group, head on over there, join it. Be appreciated as well. Okay. I have to go here in a minute. He looks like he might be. I'm going to give him a couple minutes to see if he calms down. If not, I will have to end the stream here in a few minutes. All right, let's see. Using spouse to earn EUR points which is transferable, but MR points are not. So what's the best method to transfer to partners? Does it have to be on her account, or can she transfer to my partner account? If you're an authorized user on American Express, then she can transfer to your account after linking them. They did just put some new guidelines into effect, though. So once you add a new authorized user, if you aren't one already, you have to wait like 90 days before you can transfer points, because people were purchasing points and then they basically selling their points on some of these markets, and American Express is trying to stop that. So if you're not already, add yourself, and she can transfer them to your frequent flyer program. You just can't pull them like you can with Ultimate Rewards or thank you points. What's going on, Shamrock? I am fantastic. How you doing? Icarus, he seems to be doing okay right now. So is he doing okay? He seems to be doing okay right now, but he might be getting a little fussy, but he should still be good. I fed him a full bottle. I'll give him a couple minutes, see if he calms down. Let's see. Question for you. Other than Qantas and British Airways, are there any One World partners that can be booked online? He talking to the phone. If you're in Asia Miles, you can book Asia Mile flights online. You do have to call in if you're going to book AA. If you have American Airline miles, you can book quite a few of them online as well. So those are some partners there. Let's see. Royco says wife just got an Ink Preferred and say Sapphire Preferred, like 350,000 Hilton points. When I go to the Maldives, and when I get the Aspire before vacation. The Maldives is very much a very aspirational award for sure. Be very flexible on it, but I've heard people say they love it. Super expensive. Be sure to account for the water taxi over to the resorts. I heard it's like $400 a person. But if you account for that, then I think you'll be enjoying yourself. I think a lot of families just travel as far as Caribbean and Mexico for their international travel. Casey, I don't think you're wrong on that. People do tend to want to just get away for a short vacation. And, maybe it's on the beach, spend some time, maybe a cruise with the family, not necessarily go, backpacking around Europe or Asia. And if you're doing that, look at like Hyatt for their all-inclusives. The Holiday Inn card or Holiday Inn in like Montego Bay is all-inclusive. And that's a pretty good value as well. Let's see. So Tim Apple just announced the Apple card will get 0% interest, still with 3%. That's still pretty cool. Still crap. Sorry, Sean. Still a crap card. Other cards on the market. But yeah, I know some people are getting it for like subprime rates. And I guess if you're on lower end of the credit card score scale, it's decent. But if you're like a starter card, but if you're getting deeper into the game, it's just not a good card. And like I said, I have the iPhone now. The Apple card will never see the light of day on this phone. Will not see it. What are some good redemptions for traveling in the U.S. locations to that, and some U.S. locations to that region? I'm not sure. Let's see. Good redemptions. I mean, depending on where you're living, you could look at options like Southwest, American Airlines. You could look at like British Airways for short hauls. You could look at plans like Aeroplan. There are a lot of options. It really depends on where you're coming, where your airport is, and as well. Quick, like I tell people, like I've been telling people too, it's not 100% accurate. Definitely take a quick look at Award Hacker and Google Flights. Those there kind of let you know, kind of like a few options for you. Let's see. Are there any current sweet spots flights for you, or just give up and go with Hyatt? There are some sweet spots, maybe like over to Europe with like certain, like to Dublin with, I think like British, like Avios, like it might be like 13,000 or something like that. one way. From the West Coast to Hawaii is a pretty good spot. The excursionist perk can be good, but really the best value for your points is probably going to be Hyatt. And if you're explorers, yeah, and you're going to get treated well. Like one thing about Hyatt, they treat all their members really, really well. Let's see. So I just joined the Facebook group in pending status. Shamrock, I will go through those when I'm done here to, approve people or deny people. I'll probably approve you though. And let you in. So thank you for putting in your application. Did you collect Samsung points with Sammy? Since you was iPhone, what do you do with your points? My phone is still active. Like I can still go on. I'll probably enter like a bunch of raffles with my Samsung points. I have like 5,000 points, which I know isn't a whole lot, but like I'll like do a bunch of the wheel stuff, enter a bunch of stuff for like TVs and other devices that if I were to win, maybe I'll resell them. That would kind of be the goal. Oh, look at that. He fell back asleep. Oh, yes. I love when that happens. So we can keep this party going. Let's see. That's kind of what I plan to do with Alberto with those points. I do plan to utilize them for like just the raffles and stuff like that. Buy a couple raffle tickets, do the little spin wheel to purchase, see if I can win more points too. Let's see. What do you think about MR transfer to Flying Blue and Avianca? Do you recommend transferring if you don't have a specific route in mind? That is a very good question. Shabizi, love the name. I would not transfer your points until you have a specific redemption in mind and you have found availability. Because what could potentially happen is if you were to transfer your points and devaluations happen or something else changes, you're in a really tough spot. And once you transfer your points, they're in that program. So I don't care if there's a transfer bonus going on. They tend to come back around. I do not recommend transferring points until you found the space and you're ready to book. It's just not worth it. It's not worth the risk of losing out either your points in general or having them stuck in a program that may or may not be a good opportunity. Because today, for example, let's say Avianca is great today. Avianca might be good today, but tomorrow they might go, hey, we're now dynamic or we're increasing the rates overnight. And then you're like, wait a minute, I just transferred, 50,000 points. Now it's going to cost me 75,000 points. So definitely keep that in mind. Mr. Chocolazzo, how you doing, man? I'm doing fantastic. How are you? Let's see. Smart Wallet says, what happens if you get a savings account just to get the altitude reserve? After a year, you close the savings account with US Bank, you lose the altitude reserve to keep it. Smart Wallet, I don't know off the top of my head on that one, but I don't think they were going to close your altitude reserve. If you close your checking account with them, you needed a relationship with them. If you're spending on it, I would assume like I don't think there's any reason why they would close it. It's a stipulation to get the card, not to necessarily keep the card from what I've seen and what I've known about the card. Let's see. What is your recommendation for the last 524 slot, United or BA? Thank you. Home airport is JFK to fly to Asia and Europe mainly. Thank you so much. If it were me, I know United is going dynamic. I would probably get United miles if it were me in those last spots, just because the fuel surcharges on BA are so much higher. It's just not something I would do. United, I know they have their problems, but I would definitely go United over BA. Final answer. Especially with options to Asia and Europe, you have a lot of options using Star Alliance, and they don't pass on fuel surcharges. That's where I would go with. All right, Eugen says you can close checking out, leave US Bank use your altitude reserve open. Just asked a few days ago. That's fantastic. So there's your answer there. You can do that. Can we acknowledge again what a piece of crap Uber is? Yeah, I get their I feel like they're like the next WeWork. It sounds like they're just losing a lot of money. I get why they did it to kind of improve things, but it's a crap card now. It just breaks my heart. Yeah, thank you for United. Yep, and Christine with United as well. You can get like the public offer might be like 40 or 50 right now, but it does typically go up in bonus. So if you're not in a rush to get it, I would wait on it because the bonus does go up. And with that, you want to make sure you're getting the best bonus possible. And while I do have affiliate links to it, if you're wanting to apply for it today, you can apply for that if you want to either through Chase or support the channel. But I would probably recommend holding off and applying when the bonus is higher. Let's Let's see. Are any other questions out there? Let's see. Got 42 of you there. I can go for another 10 minutes if you have questions. If not, we'll cut this short. Little guy still seems to be like tossing, but he's going back out to sleep. But I'll do I do have let's see. What card did you use to get your iPhone? So I actually purchased it through Best Buy because it was unlocked, it was local, and I wanted it before my dad's wedding this past weekend. I went to the Chase Ultimate Reward portal through Best Buy, earned 2x there, used my Chase Freedom through PayPal, earned 7x total Ultimate Reward points for my iPhone. So, I earned 7,000 points back. I guess that's a good consolation prize for spending it. All right. Wait for the bonus and apply. Icarus, what's your question, man? Christine, yeah, I definitely wait for the bonus. And check the links that I have. It may or may not be the best offer. It may not be the best offer out on the time, but definitely check it if you don't. Yeah, thank you very much. Any good routes for American or for Alaska Airline mileage at the end of the year? If there is that first class fare I saw, was it yesterday? From JFK to Europe, where if you credit to Alaska and you earn a bunch of redeemable miles. I'm not big on mileage runs, so I'll be honest, I don't really know a whole lot. I don't know the conversion off the top of my head, but that could be an opportunity for you to fly BA from the East Coast over to Europe. I think it was on one page, it was like you'd earn 30,000 redeemable miles, plus you'd earn some miles for status as well. What's your best sweet spot for United? Let's see. My best United redemption, man, I think it had to be a couple years ago. We did like an open jaw ticket to Budapest and to Prague. That was, we did an open jaw there because that's what we could do. But I usually book in one ways because I find one option is really good for for 20,000 points one way, and I book another flight home. I'm trying to think. That may have been my best United sweet spot redemption. I book stuff that's just for myself. I don't go out of my way to book some of these extra sweet spots. I try to take advantage of them when I can. But if it doesn't fit my route, I don't try to squeeze something else in to get it because it's just not how I travel. Let's see. Uber card is getting a lot like Disney card. If you don't go to Disney, then the points are worth nothing. Even if you go to Disney, that's still a garbage card, Smart Wallet. You could do so much better. But yeah, basically they bring people into, if you get the Disney card, you get a couple benefits of it. I know Joe Chung, when he was on the channel, talked about you do get to meet like some of the characters if you have that card. Let's see. What cards can be doubled up on? For example, if you're getting to choose 2 of your 5 categories, get 2 of the same, covering more categories. Yeah. If you're talking about the US Bank card, the Cash Plus, yeah, you can do that. If you were to have 2 of them, then yeah, you can pick multiple card categories and give yourself good coverage. You can do that. So that's definitely not a problem. Yeah. Uber was my workhorse for dining. Now it's grounded. Don't blame me there. So you can select 2 categories. Yeah, you can select 2. If you have 2 cards, you can do that. You can basically have 4 or 5% categories on the US Bank Cash Plus. That's what you're asking. Let's see. Yeah, BA was super short-lived. I saw it posted again today. Take another look at it, Sabizi, because it might be around. Let's see. That I think I would check it again. I saw it listed, I think like 10 minutes before I went live, that it was back, like someone had posted about it. Let's see. What's up? Let's see. Just like a 6K to Auckland, got to be super quick. Yeah, book now, think later. You typically have some time to think about it on some of these fares. Even if you don't, 6,000 like Auckland, on these things that's super cheap, you book first, think later. It's not like you might miss out on it. Is Baby Waller an authorized user on your cards? Not yet. He will be, though. I'm going to make sure that he has good credit, because at some point I'm going to be like, hey, you got to earn some miles to keep us flying, buddy. Is the Chase Marriott card worth 100,000? If you view, I view, this is just me, I view the Marriott card as airline miles. So if you are beyond getting your ultimate reward rotation set up and you're looking for co-branded credit cards, I don't like the Marriott card for Marriott and just normal spending. But if you have a specific redemption in mind for those, maybe you need to boost up your Alaskan miles, or Japan Airlines or some other program you can't necessarily get through other currencies, like maybe American Airlines, it could be worth it. I'm not big on keeping it long term though. Let's see, Shamrock, like you, I have to book one-way travel, which is why American Express offering travel protections isn't exciting to me. Only cover a round trip, and I'm on an award out and revenue back. Yep, I agree. I think that's one flaw in that system. I know people talk about like they're adding coverage. The coverage is good if you book round trip. You have to have a premium card. Not as good even as it's not really even their mid-level cards there for American Express aren't as good as the Sapphire Preferred, which I'm not a big fan of Sapphire Preferred outside of the bonus, but the travel protections are far better on the Sapphire Preferred than like the green card or like some of the other mid-level cards are adding. Let's see. Cakeology, first time on the stream. So yeah, my friend Travel Explore Click channel. Thanks for stopping by, Cakeology. I appreciate it. Welcome to the channel. If you have any questions, leave them below. Thanks for showing up. Let's see. For the dining category for the gold green card, I don't know if it's my luck. Outside of chain networks, they tend to never take American Express. Yeah, funny story. Last year, I went to a Patriots game with a buddy of mine, and we stopped off at this little place. This is an American Express story for you. It's a story time. We went off to this like little sub shop in this on our way over, and I was paying at the time with the gold card. That was my plan. I still had it at the time. I was going to pay it. And he didn't accept it. And the reason why he didn't accept it is that if he didn't do so many transactions a month on American Express, he got hit with an extra fee of like 10% on top of the other fees, which were higher than Visa or MasterCard. So basically, he was losing money to accept American Express because he didn't know if he could meet those transactions every month because he was a smaller place. So I understand why some of these smaller shops don't accept American Express. The interchange fees are higher for them. And if you get hit with a penalty because you don't do, say, 30 or 50 transactions at American Express a month for being a small mom and pop place, yeah, I wouldn't accept it either. Like, you can't blame them unless they change that and don't penalize you. Yeah, so it's very hit or miss. But end of that story time. Let's see. Hey, Waller, just got approved for the Chasing Preferred. Do you think I should go for American Express after I finish the Chase system? Poophead, I love your name. What is your travel goal? Like, what do you primarily do for travel? I think American Express is easier to get approved for after. They're both pretty easy. But I like American Express's transfer partners for airlines far more than cities, just because there's just so many of them. And it's just so versatile for people to use their points on. I've recently been wondering to myself are we over, I think it's important to get your Chase card. Someone in the group, Facebook group, had said if I should do a video on if I was starting the game today, what would I do? And I think that's a really interesting topic because, I've been in the credit card game for 5 or 6 years now. And I think it's an interesting story. If I was to start today, how would I approach the game? Because I think I would do it a little bit differently than I did when I started. Because at the time they were more, you could pretty much get a lot more cards. But if I was more strategic, how would I do it? If you want to see that video, let me know in the comments. That would be an interesting thing to hear if you guys want to see that. All good, baby. Living the dream. Thank you. Awesome. If you were 4-5 with Chase, running all Chase business before closing your 5th personal, Chase Fitzgerald, if you were 4-5 with Chase, would you run all Chase business before closing at your 5th personal? Or is it even a card you keep using to send a bonus out? Did I miss your thing earlier? I don't even know Chase, I don't think I'm understanding your question. So if you were 4-5 with Chase, would you run all Chase business before closing out your 5th personal, even if it's a card you weren't using? Sign up bonus. If it's a card you weren't going to use and it's a bonus and it has an annual fee and you weren't going to use it afterwards, I would look to downgrade. 4 out of 5. With Chase, would you run all business? I would. I would definitely, if you had one spot left in your 524, I would definitely go for business cards just because they don't add to it, at least now. I do really think that's going to change at some point. It's just so talked about that you can kind of get through that loophole. So I would go business cards, still space out 31 days between applications because it's just not worth applying for them super fast. Let's see. City takes long. Yeah, City can be tough just because they do transfer. It takes some time. And if you have to wait, you miss out on award space. Let's see. City needs to strike a deal with British Airways or strike a deal with American. Shamrock, I think. Oh wait, let's see. I think I missed one. Yep. If you're waiting in line for register, do you often peek what Totally, Casey. I totally look at what card people are using. I'm always interested what card people are using, and when I see people using just like a co-brand like Delta card, I'm like, oh, I want to tell them, but should I tell them? It's something I always struggle with. And when I see a debit card, it's just, oh man, it definitely, I look all the time. And even when I'm out with family, if I know they have reward credit cards and I see them paying with them, like, what are you doing? You should be using this card. Like, I left it at home. Like, what do you mean you left that card at home? You should be doing this. That card should be in your wallet all the time. Don't do that again. Like, let's see. I think Shamrock City striking a deal with American Airlines or Barclay would be nice. I don't know why. Like, there's got to be some sort of contractual thing that I don't know much about with them, but it'd be great to see them add it. And if City added them, it would boost City up the charts for so many people for American Air for their flexible currency. But I think City would have the leg up over Barclay because they have already a bank of partners, which would be awesome. Let's see. Being in the Boston area, I see people often using the Chase app for preferred, even for non-bonus spend, non-restaurant spend. Man, that's I think people like that card. It makes them feel special. They like to see how heavy and the metal card factor. But if from like I don't know, like if you're not even spending a whole lot on restaurants, the Freedom Unlimited at 1.5 is a pretty good solid offer for people. Press one if you want to see that video. 111. Okay, please on the game question. All right, I'll make sure I'll do that video. I'll look from time to time. Okay. It seems like some of you guys want to see that video. If I were to start the game today, what would I do? So I'll write that down and I'll make a video on that. Let's see. All right. I have American Express and Chase cards. Is City really that bad? I thought about getting the Advantage Platinum Select and possibly downgrading Double Cash. I think that's a great move, Skelter. I do. Like, I don't think City's that bad. Are their partners as great as others? I like City partners actually better than I like Chase's partners for airlines. But the amount of them, you have to put a lot of work for it. They're not easy. They're not as easy as Ultimate Rewards. You can't just transfer to Southwest and book them. Using Turkish to book United takes a little bit more work. Using Asia Miles takes more work. So they just take more work to learn. But there's a lot of value to be had in City thank you points. Let's see. I peek at other people's cards at supermarkets all the time. I cry a little when they use a debit card or a store card that isn't for the store. Yep, I agree. And when I see someone pay cash or write a check, a little piece of me dies inside. Dustin looking over the shoulder in line to see their chip in their cards in pin. Okay, is your wife active in the credit card game herself, or do you decide which card she gets next? She's active in the sense that I apply for cards for her, but she doesn't know what card she applies for. I just can walk upstairs and I'll say, hey, you got a new card coming in the mail. And then I just put sticky notes on it. I don't know, like I'll plug it, I guess. The CNBC article I was featured in, I have to put stickies, like I have a label maker for that I put on there for her so she knows where to use which card. But there was pictures of the card in that CNBC article because she's active in the sense that she will use whichever card is best, but she doesn't know what card she has. I mean, I have them in the drawer here. I don't think she knows how many cards I don't think she knows how many cards she has, but she's active in using them. She's not active in applying. That's all me. Let's see. How did you get, let's see. How did I get the business interview? So Alan, I went to CardCon last year, and my goal for 2020 is to do more, is to go to a couple conferences. And one goal I have is actually to be a speaker on a panel. Although it makes me a little nervous because sometimes I'm like, I don't know if I'm good enough to do that, but it's kind of my thought to do it. But I met the writer actually at CardCon, and we talked for a little bit, and she reached out to me a few months ago and asked if I was interested in being featured in an article. So I said yes. Even though that article went around to some Dave Ramsey groups and whatnot, and I went through those and read them. It's a very interesting group. It's funny is I get why people do both sets of things. Some people are in the Dave Ramsey group, but or like the fire movement. It's different modes of modes of transportation. But to think like if you can't, their thought process is different than mine. But I guess it's just how you view things. Icarus, okay. AMX, Amex, Amex. So I just say I am X, like X, AMX. There you go. Let's see. Logan, yes, new to the game, off the cuff. Would you start with Chase still, or what do you think? Logan, I would still start with Chase. I would get your Chase Ultimate Reward rotation set up. I'd get the co-branded cards you're going to use. Hyatt, I think, is good if you get someone who wants to stay at Hyatt. But after getting your cards from Chase, move on. I don't think it's worth not applying for cards to stay applying for Ultimate Reward cards. Like if you're doing that, you are overvaluing Ultimate Reward points. Like they're good, but they're not that good. Learn a new ecosystem, learn a new program, diversify. It just gives you the most chances for success. Let's see. Let's see. City's decent if you're starting out. At least the annual fees of the game. You can do the City Premier, double cash, or plus if you cover your base for $95. Shamrock, that's true. I think if you want to run that setup for, if you want to run the setup of City, the Premier, double cash, and rewards plus is a decent decent trifecta, if you will. I mean, the rewards plus is only good for like small purchase transactions, like under $5. Outside of that, it's 2 points per dollar would be better. So you could run just a duo of the double cash and Premier and be good for $95. Definitely can't do that with American Express. Although I do like the Blue Business Plus. I think that's fantastic. And as like a dark horse card from American Express that doesn't get a lot of love, and I have to redo my video, my script for it that I want to shoot is ranking cards for membership rewards, is the Everyday Preferred. It's a solid one card rotation, like $95. It earns really well. Yeah, if you're someone who doesn't want a lot of cards, it's pretty fantastic. Like you're not going to hear any complaints from me about that card. Let's see. When I went to the supermarket, I think I saw the Amex Gold card being used once. Yeah, I think it's a good card for heavy grocery store spenders, the gold card. But yeah, some people are averse to the fee. The credits aren't as easy to use. I hate the allowance style. Like, stop treating me like I'm 5. And the airline credits are more difficult. Come to San Francisco. That would be fantastic. My wife's got family. We have family out in San Francisco, and we've talked about coming out there next year to see them. So if I'm out that way, I'll try to do a meetup for a couple of hours with some San Francisco viewers, just because I love meeting up with people and talking credit card points and miles. Let's see. Can you transfer cash back from the Freedom to Hyatt? No smart wallet, you cannot. You need a premium card, Sapphire, Preferred, Reserve, Ink Preferred, to transfer those points over to Hyatt. You can't do it right from your Chase Freedom, which would be nice though, but no, you can't. What's going on, Jessica? How you doing? William, huge thanks for holding this live stream, reading my post. William, thank you for showing up and watching the live stream. I appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. And of course, the debit card's been dead to me since 2017. Why use a debit card when you can earn points? Exactly. That is a fantastic. The only debit card I carry, actually, I did just get the SoFi debit card for the bonus. I carry the Charles Schwab with me when I travel internationally. And if you're watching an hour and 9 minutes into this, I'll let you know that the Friday's video will be comparing SoFi to Charles Schwab, because I got a few requests for that. I feel like if you're watching this late, you deserve to hear that. So the $50 bonus for myself was pretty awesome. It's good if you have it. Like it's being plugged a lot because of the referral bonus of $100 up to $10,000. Like I have it. It's in the description of the videos. Like I haven't really plugged it though. If you're interested in getting it, by all means, if you want to support the channel, go ahead and do it. But that review will be coming out on Friday. So I sent it off to my editor yesterday. Should be back tonight, I think. All right. Let's see. So I told one of my coworkers about the Uber card changes, and he was pretty upset. Told his friend as well. They're using the Uber card as their main card. Yeah, Casey, the Uber card was fantastic. If you wanted to run a 2-card set of Uber and like the double cash, you covered a lot of bases. The only one that would be, the only other option was maybe like the Propel card, which is a really good all-around card too. But again, it's an American Express, networked card, so it's not as accepted as widely. Let's see. Did you ever reveal the name that you gave the V? I don't know if I did, but he's on my he's his name's Owen. He's on he's in my Instagram feed, so I feel like that's cool. Like, yeah, baby Owen, my little man, still passed back out, which is good. All right. Let's see. Poophead says, do you think it's possible to open more Chase business cards under different businesses? I.e., I have all 3 ink cards under one business. Yes, Poophead, you could actually do that. If you have, let's say, a sole proprietor and then you have like an EIN or different EINs, you can do that. I would, and it resets the clock there. So it is like, if you looked at a lot of data points, that is possible. Still, I would go, 30 plus days between applications, but you should have no issue getting the bonuses again for those cards. Let's see. What card do you think is in dire need of a facelift? Skelter, that's good. You would say the American Express Blue Cash every day, since the preferred version already has one. I would say the Chase Sapphire Preferred is probably the most needed card for a refresh. It's too cannibalized by the reserve. It doesn't keep up with even the green card. It just has fallen so far down the ranks of what you need outside of getting a bonus. It's just not worth it. I think Chase really needs to go back to the drawing board with this one and bring something out. Make it more of a complimentary card. See, I don't think people would be adverse to paying $95 for the card if it had better earning rates or different earning rates that complement the reserve. And I do think that one as a whole. So it would be, I think the preferred is the most needed card right now. So what is SoFi? Dolly, SoFi is and it's not a bank, but SoFi Money, where you get a debit card. It has 1.8% interest on the account, has no foreign transaction fees. So it's not, so it's being looked at, but the big reason why, and that card's been out for a while, but it's being plugged by a lot of places now. I mean, I see it a lot on my news feed, just for the fact that the person referring you gets $100 and you get $50, but you deposit $100 in the account, you get $50. Like, it's an easy, low-hanging fruit cash bonus. Like, it's super easy. My bonus posted the day my money got transferred into the account, which is pretty fast. Like Schwab, you now need to wait like almost 2 months based on their wording. But that posted like the same day, which is pretty fantastic. Let's see. All right. Let's see. SoFi is an incredible bank. Doesn't have much for international fees. Doesn't have any national fees on purchase withdrawals. William, be sure to check in Friday on SoFi. I won't give too much away, but be sure to check in Friday then for that. Let's see. So glad I didn't tell my oldest boy to get the Uber card. Yeah, I've seen some comments from people who just opened it a couple months ago, and they're really upset. And I've had the card for a little while, and I'm pretty upset about it too. Let's see. My oldest boy is Discover It. His credit score is 850. That is fantastic for a 19-year-old. 750. That's a big difference, Dolly. That was impressive. Let's see. Either way, 750 is impressive for a 19-year-old. If depends on what his income level is, because I would probably say like a Chase card to get him like a Chase Freedom card to get his foot in the door. But like the Sapphire Preferred, you need a $5,000 limit, and the Reserve, you need a $10,000 limit just because of those cards. If he's 19 with that credit score and he has a good history, I would probably get his foot in the door with Chase with maybe the Freedom or Freedom Unlimited, just because it depends on if he wants to earn the 5X categories or if he just wants a straight 1.5X or 1.5%. So we can get that relationship with them and then build on that with them. Because even if once you get your foot in the door, you might get the offers for you. It makes it a lot easier later on. So Freedom or Freedom Unlimited to complement that Discover It card. Let's see. I'd pay $95 for 3X on gas and groceries with Sapphire Preferred. I think a lot of people would. I think it'd be a great complimentary card. Poophead, I think the Sapphire Preferred is just bad. I can get the Chase Ink and Ink Preferred to get the same coverage categories, even more cell phone protection, all for the same annual fee. I agree. Like the Sapphire Preferred is just falling out of favor. Chase, if you're watching this, refresh that crap. It sucks. Let's see. This sweet spot is primary car rental coverage and trip delay coverage for $95. Outside of that, anyone can do better. Yeah, Shamrock, I will give them credit on that. The benefits there of that, the primary auto rental coverage, as well as trip delay coverage after 12 hours, is pretty good. That it is pretty good. I will give them credit there as a whole. Let's see. I already had a SoFi account, student loans. Don't know if that counts as a referral for you. I think if you signed up with it's separate. I did SoFi as well for student loans. but it should be separate because I had it in the person I took a referral link from, well, I believe it got their money too. So it should be good. Thank you very much, Casey. I do appreciate that. Thank you very much. Let's see. It'd be hilarious if Lyft released a 4% dining card right now. That would be pretty interesting if Lyft did that. I don't think they will because I think they realize that's stupid to do. If like it's good, but like it's stupid if you're going to make your own card 2%. Let's see. Any tips to hacking it and staying in South America? Roth, where are you traveling from? Roth, you're out of Boston, right? If I remember correctly. So where are you going in South America? I mean, you have good options there. You still have, you have good options in the sense of like American Airline miles will work, United miles will work. And then once you get into South America, look at GOL utilizing Etihad miles. It's distance based, so it could be a really good opportunity for you. It's a lower cost carrier, but it's a good option as well. So I would take a look there. Let's see. Getting popular if it's on CNBC. Fahid, thank you very much. Yeah, it was really cool to see that article posted and go live. You know, it's funny to see myself on a picture like that. So like it's really cool, but like still like surreal for me. Let's see. The audio sounds good. Awesome. I made some adjustments here, put it closer to my face. So I'm happy that that sounds better for you guys out there. Chase, refresh that crap card. I'm dead. Hey, I'm honest with everyone here. Like, you know, as much as I think the Chase Sapphire Reserve, for example, needs to be refreshed, like Citi and American Express just keep like feeding the reserve. Like, hey, it's you can improve your bonus, like your multipliers, but the protections you give out are really good. So like they just make it easier for Chase not to have to really do anything. Although I think changes are coming. I do think they're coming. Hopefully they're good though. Let's see. With the Sapphire Preserve Reserve, Chase isn't treating those cards as compliments. One Sapphire rule is pretty much a reason. Yeah, it would be nice if they change that. Is CardCon invite only? It is not. Anyone can go to CardCon. You do need to, there's registration fees and whatnot for it. But it was really good. If you're looking trying to get your foot in the door, if you're someone in the credit card niche, or you're looking to make some connections, it is really a good place. You know, I made some connections with people out there, including this one here to help me out, like got me on the CNBC article. But you know, it's a good place. I have hoped to go to CardCon and FinCon next year. I actually want to go to a YouTube conference next year to kind of network. And then maybe either I saw like Finance Buzz had one in Austin, as well as maybe like a frequent traveler university to kind of just rub shoulders with people. You know, networking is always a great thing to do. And as the channel slowly grows, I want to build connections. Let's see. Thoughts of Crystal. Will Crystal ever offer a sign-up bonus again? It may offer a sign-up bonus again. It may offer a bonus again. It comes and goes. I feel like we see they did just recently reduce the value of the points though. And I don't know if it went live yet, but I know they were talking about changing the credits on it because it was a pretty valuable card for the airline credits. I know that they were rumored to be changing that very soon. Let's see. Was an underrated card that gets overlooked far too often? Oh man, there's a lot of them that come to mind. I think if you're someone who's looking for a good no fee like setup and you're domestic most of the time, yeah, I know American Express isn't as widely accepted, but that Citi Propel combination with the Propel and the Visa Signature card is a pretty good setup for airfare. Underrated though, as well for transfers. The Everyday Preferred is pretty undervalued, I think. Oh man, there's so many good cards out there. It's hard, especially if you're going smaller banks. Like if you're someone in the smaller banks, like the Navy Federal Credit Union card, like 3x on travel, 2% everywhere else. Like if that's a one card thing you're looking, that's a pretty good card. The Pathfinder card, that's a pretty good card because like it pays you essentially to hold it. Like, and it's got decent travel protections as well. So like there's a lot out there. But maybe undervalued cards would be a good video. Let's see. Remember you're talking about Amazon selling Airbnb cards at Amex for a discount, but looking at reviews, gift cards don't work. I've never had an issue, Foopet, and I can tell you I've bought a lot of Airbnb gift cards through Amazon. I've never once had an issue with it not working. I get it in my account. I immediately hop over to Airbnb, link it right in, and it's good to go. Let's see, Menfluential in Maine in February. Let's see, easy is $50. Yeah, it's easy, $50. It'll post in your account whenever your money transfers over, Casey, in a couple days. It's pretty awesome. Let's see. What are your thoughts on Citi extended warranty coverage? I know they changed some of the stuff on it of cars that were offering it recently. Extended warranty coverage is always great. If you can get it, it's great. It's just a great benefit from credit cards. Let's see. Alejandro, I've been following you for a while now. What I'll do is I'll probably do like another 10 minutes at most, just because my wife should be home soon. I'll go spend some time with her before I get some more work done. So ask your questions. I'll try to get to as many as I can. Let's see. I've been following you for a while now. Thank you, Alejandro, for following. I appreciate that. Love your tips and advice, especially the 120x LifeLock deal. Waiting for those points to post in November. You and me both. I have like almost 80,000 points to post in my account in November, which is I'm pretty excited for. So I do typically post those deals in the Facebook group. I typically maybe even on Instagram every once in a while, but like mostly in the Facebook group. So if you're not there and you're interested, like I said, I'm gonna plug it again. Like you just join that because it's a lot of fun and I like interacting with everyone. Let's see. I don't like the new Uber design. They did put a picture of a steaming dump on it, picture of socks. Yeah, that's awesome. Wish Wells Fargo would offer transfer partners with a Propel card. Capital One can do it, so can Wells Fargo. That would be pretty interesting if they did that. I don't think it'll happen, but that would be pretty interesting if they did that, Shamrock. Let's see. Navy Federal Credit Union reward card. That is a good card, Mr. Chocolazzo. Let's see. Is the current United Business Card offer good? 100,000 for 25 total spend within 6 months. If you can meet the full 25 grand, yeah. 50,000 and 5K after 6. I believe it's gone up higher than that in the past for the shorter spend, for the smaller spend. So if you can't meet the full amount, I would wait. Let's see. Can I give a shout out to mine? Aiden, congratulations on your first credit card. Treat your credit cards as cash, and you'll be going very well. You'll be seeing the world for a fraction of the cost. Congratulations, Aiden. That's fantastic. Dude, can I just say that you love it? Sevi isn't remembering that. Man, he's got but I try to remember a little bit of everyone as much as I can. I don't always do it, but he's also got 25 times the subscribers I have. So he gets so many comments. But Roth, you've been here for a while. So I do typically, as I do remember people here early on, and I remember interacting with people when I would have 3 people watching the live streams and in my comments. So I try to remember everyone, but the people here were super, super early. I've grown to know some of you more so than others. But if you're here on the channel now and you're here, I will get to learn more about all of you in the live stream. So, I'll try to have that personal connection with everyone. So have I been to Jerry Remy's in Boston? I haven't been there for a priority pass. I haven't been, I've left out of Terminal A, which sucks out of Boston. So there's nothing there. Make sure you hit that like button. Yeah, hit that like button. Thank you. Thanks, Dolly. That's awesome. If I ever go to a different terminal in Boston, I'll be sure to check that out. Does the Altitude Reserve waive for active? I don't think US Bank waives. Poophead, let me double check that for you. I don't believe US Bank waives their fees for active duty. I could definitely be wrong there. I don't believe they do though. I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure they don't. Is it 24 months to the day to get a 524 rule, or do you have to wait? I would typically wait to the next statement to the next statement closing after to do that. There are reports that you could get there almost the day or a couple days after. To me, it's not worth risking it. So I would wait unless you're in a super rush. I would wait probably 30 days afterwards just to be on the safe side. Yes, Terminal C. Icarus, how do I remember you? Oh man, you've had some pretty good sarcastic comments over the bit. So I've got to learn. I've got to notice your sense of humor. I get it, and you love when I say AMX, right? You love when I say that. Okay, all right. Couple more minutes. Let's see. Any plans to travel to Chicago sometime in November? I don't plan to travel to Chicago in November, unless this year at least. I don't think I have any. We have some family plans for Thanksgiving or whatnot, so I don't think I'll be traveling to Chicago this year. Please like and share the video before I take off. Thanks in advance. Thank you, Mr. Chocolazzo. I appreciate that. Any strategy to line up the altitude reserve when outside of the bank footprint under 524, but want it to be one of your first posts? I would say make sure you have like an account with them, checking or a savings account with them if you can get it. If you, or if you want to apply for one of the other cards, like the FlexPerk card, I would say do that and then wait some time in between applications after that. Because two reasons. One, FlexPerks card gets you in the door. You can transfer up to 20,000 FlexPerk points to your altitude reserve in a year and then redeem them. It's all 1.5 cents per point, so you're not getting anything extra by doing that. But you just start earning extra FlexPerk point. You start earning extra altitude reserve points that way. Thoughts on traveling alone? Am I the only one who in the points game? All my friends work in experience. My wife, I travel with my wife all the time. And the last year when I was going to go, I went to Zurich. I was going to go alone. A buddy of mine really wanted to go, so I made it a guy's trip with my buddy. I think traveling alone is fine though. You know, if there's nothing wrong with that. Solo travel is a very big thing. You know, you get to experience stuff, and it's perfectly fine. I think there's nothing wrong with solo travel if you can do it. You know, I typically travel with my family though. My wife, I enjoy those. And one big thing I like about travel with the points and stuff is just that the memories I get to build with family. So that's a big thing for me. But yeah, some people don't understand the point stuff or traveling in general. I have some people they have no interest in that. Icarus has no interest in traveling, but you know, but some of us we do, and there's nothing wrong with solo travel. But all right, I think that's the last question there. And also, I'm gonna do a video from my cell phone at some point. I will shoot one on the iPhone because I shot one on the Samsung when I was over in Amsterdam. The quality of the video is not super, super awesome, but it's there. It's done. But I can tell you, I've been doing some credit card reviews on this, recommendation back on this, and it is really good. So I'm super excited to actually do a video just to see how good it is. And so if you guys can see the difference. Let's see. Nate and Jess ask, all right, a couple more. Let's see. Do you think Chase will be like the other providers and cut their insurance products on their cards? You know, I don't know if I don't think so, because it's a separating factor for them compared to other cards. If they cut it, then they lose out because their multipliers aren't there. It definitely is something that stands out for them. And I think people utilizing it are very small. It's not nearly as big as I think that people aren't claiming as much. So I hope not. I don't think so, because if not, then they really need to up those earning rates to justify cutting those protections. Let's see. I think that would, I think that could kind of count a little bit, Casey. If you travel to meet your friends at destinations, you still got to get there. But let's see. You do that, Icarus. Be sure to tweet that to him. That'd be awesome. Tag me on that too. I'd love to see that. All right, everyone. I think that is the end of the questions here. They're kind of slowing down. My wife should be home any minute. And I'm going to go out. I'll answer one last question from Shamrock. Do you think City has any plans to restore any protections? They did say it leaves they have the opportunity to add certain things to their cards later on. And I think I wouldn't be shocked if they added them back on in the future. Will we see it this year, next year? Maybe not this year, maybe not within the next year, because they just cut them. But if they're saying people cut the prestige because of the lack of travel protections and moving another card, I wouldn't be shocked if we see them re-added in some form or fashion. Maybe not 6 hours, maybe 12-hour coverage. But I definitely do think we'll see them added at some point if they're seeing a lot of people cancel their cards. Let's see. How often do I do live? Jessica, I do live chats every month. I do them usually typically once a month to just kind of interact with everyone and chit chat. And I typically do Q&A for about an hour after I give a little spiel on some topic that I want to talk about or people want to talk about. But once a month, usually at the end of the month. But I typically do post it in the community tab as well as the Facebook group. So thank you, Kelly. Thank you all of you for tuning in. I do appreciate it. So let me know in the comments after the video, what do you think of dynamic award pricing? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Are you indifferent about it? Let me know down in the comments. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this as well. When I'm coming to the West Coast, man, I'd love to come out to the West Coast, Mr. Chocolazzo, especially to LA. That'd be fantastic. If I can get over to the West Coast, I will let you know for sure. But hey, everyone, thanks for doing this live stream. If you want to help support the channel, a simple way is to use links on the website or in the description below. And as always, Until next time, safe travels. Take care, everyone.